Reggie at the plate. Autumn's child, Mr. October, in the clutch. 3-2 pitch. Runners motoring. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. 4-3 Dodgers. LA leads 2-0. Hooten, the winning pitcher. Hunter, the losing pitcher. Game 3 Friday night at Yankee Stadium. It'll be Ron Guidry against Don Sutton. Today, Billy Martin gave me an exclusive interview. I asked him, how's life been away from the Yankees, watching them just in the newspaper?
Well, it's nice to see they're winning, except for last night, but they're doing good, and I'm just happy for them.
While you've been away, you've been checking the box scores and stuff?
Oh, yeah, it's a way of life with me, you know. First thing you do is just turn that sports page on and see how the Yankees did.
When it was announced that you were leaving the Yankees, it was also announced a couple of days later you were coming back in 1980. Is that still a fact?
Oh, that's right. I have a contract for 1980 and 81. Although I read in the newspaper where I was fired this summer, I didn't realize I was fired. I thought I left the club on my own.
There have been quotes from some Yankees who say that they don't want you to come back. Did you see that?
No, I don't pay any attention to them. Probably the players I didn't play.
And there are a lot of players that said they want to see you come back, too.
Well, you know, a manager's not going to make them all happy. I don't care who the manager is. And some players are going to comment, and they're entitled to comment. That doesn't mean that they're right.
Repeating 4-3 Dodgers tonight. The World Series comes back to New York for the next 3, Larry. The Yanks are down 2-0.
Should the Yankees lose tomorrow night, forget it, folks. It's all over. Nobody in the history of baseball has ever come back to win the series after losing the first 3. That's why tomorrow night's game is a must game. Win it, they got a chance. Lose it, it's all over. Guidry against Sutton. Now, last night's 4-3 score would have been worse if it hadn't have been for Greg Nettles at third base. Look at these plays. Here's Steve Yeager, 2 outs in the last of the third. Yeager, a sure base hit. Look at this. And in the hole goes Nettles. Look at that play. Anyway, Spencer couldn't handle. They gave him a base hit. 4th inning, look at Garvey, a sure double, right? Wrong. Look at that play by Nettles. Throw to first, safe, but it's only a single. Here's a smart play. Baker, Nettles tags Garvey. Throw to first, double play. A lot of guys would not have reacted and thrown to first. Certainly not to make any excuses, but how can you expect to win when your first baseman doesn't play, your second baseman doesn't play, and your center fielder doesn't play? And discipline or no discipline problems, the Yankees don't win when Rivers doesn't play and doesn't get on base. The Reds proved that in the 1976 series. If the Yankees are going to win also, they're going to have to stop the Dodger infield of Garvey, Lopes, Russell, and Say. They're 13 for 33 between them in the 2 games.
Well, I like the fans myself. I think they do a great job for their team here, and I know we have some Dodger fans that are going to be out here for the World Series games that are going to be played here. They're a vociferous crowd. They really cheer for their team. They try to get on the other team, but that's the way it should be.
There's a particular element of fan that come here to do nothing more than to see if they can hurt someone. They come here looking for trouble, and it's too bad that nothing can be done about it. But
I just don't like to see certain fans get unruly, you know, and start throwing things at people. I mean, you wouldn't walk down the street and throw something at someone. So what happens is, because of a couple of people doing that, they try to make everybody look like that. But that isn't true. They're great fans. Hey, right here on this field, DiMaggio, Ruth, Gehrig, they were all here. Mickey Mantle. These fans came out and supported them, and they continue supporting the Yankees, and they're really, really good fans.
All right, game number 3 tomorrow night. Chuck?
Yankees won at 5-1, now trail 2-1. I'll tell you, Guidry gets the win, but Greg Nettles gets the save. Never in one game has one guy made so many great plays. Let's go right to the videotape, and it is the Greg Nettles show, period. This guy was unbelievable. Here we go. Top of the third, 2-1, ground ball, Smith, saved by Nettles. Throw to first, ends the inning. He's just warming up, though. Top of the 5th, 2-on, 2-out, Smith again. Give me a break, he's saying. Saves a double there. Now, bases loaded, Garvey up. Here is the key. How about this one? Here's Nettles again. Backhand throw to second, ends the inning. One more for the road. Top of the 6th, Lopes, bases loaded. No, Nettles. Is that incredible? One guy made all 4 plays. That's it. You can get out now. We don't have to follow him across. Tommy John against Figueroa tomorrow. Today, by the way, just for a little trivia for you, was the first World Series game ever played on Friday the 13th since 1905. I'm sure you were interested in that, right?
We really like that one.
You cared for that.
that no team has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. Well, the Yankees won't have to worry about that anymore, at least this season, because tonight at the stadium, they ended all the suspense and finally broke the ice by beating the Dodgers 5-1. So Los Angeles now has that 2-1 lead heading into Game 4 tomorrow at 3:30. Roy White, who hit the winning home run to capture the pennant from the Kansas City Royals this past weekend, launched a Don Sutton fastball into the right field seats to make it 1-0 in inning number 1. A 3-2 pitch, White's first World Series home run. In inning number 2, the Yankees with first and third. Bucky Dent hits a grounder to Ron Cey at third. The Dodgers get the force at second, but Greg Nettles scores to make it 2-0 Yankees. Top of the third, Bill North on third base. Bill Russell grounds it to deep short. Dent's long throw to Chris Chambliss. The runner is safe. North comes home to break the shutout. But now we turn our attention to the Greg Nettles show. What an incredible defensive display this man put on tonight. A sharp drive to Reggie Smith by Reggie Smith ended the third inning. In the fifth, bases loaded, 2 out. Steve Garvey, hard line to the third. Nettles again throws to second to end the inning. Sixth inning, again, the bases were jammed. Davey Lopes with a blistering liner to third. Another great play by Mr. Nettles. Yanks opened it up in the 7th with 3 runs. First and third, there was Thurman Munson's infield single, which brought number 3 to the plate. That was all for Sutton. Lance Routson came on, and Reggie Jackson dropped a base hit into left center, scoring Roy White with the 4th run. Munson came home on a Lou Piniella groundout. Yankees beat the Dodgers 5-1, a complete game for Ron Guidry.
And look at Lopes at second base. Lopes had at least 3 chances to make double plays, and I don't think he threw a ball on less than 1 hop to first base. It was the Dodgers not making the plays and the Yankees making the plays that I think was the difference tonight in a 5-1 ball game. And here's another thing about Ron Guidry. In, I guess, about 26, 27 wins he's had this year, including the regular season, playoffs, and this World Series game, only 3 pitchers have beaten Ron Guidry, and all of them had a first name of Mike. It was Mike Caldwell with the Brewers, it was Mike Flanagan with the Orioles, and Mike Willis with the Toronto Blue Jays. Tonight the pitcher's name was Don Sutton. Wrong name, wrong time, wrong place for him. The Yankees have come back. They trail 2-1 in this World Series, Steve.
Well, Ron, this is one of those nights where you got to just turn into a fan, I guess. Almost as exciting as 1969 when you were in the World Series, huh? All right, well, I guess that's it as far as Ron Swoboda is concerned, but it's got to be just as exciting as 1969 in terms of Mr. Swoboda.
And the next batter up, Lou Piniella, hit what appeared to be an easy double play ball to shortstop Bill Russell. But Russell dropped the ball, recovered, and stepped on second to force out Jackson. But his throw to first base hit Jackson and bounced into right field. As this was happening, Thurman Munson came home from second. The Dodgers were furious, arguing that Jackson had purposely interfered with the throw. But the umpire ruled in the Yankees' favor, and the score was now 3-2. A Thurman Munson double in the 8th tied the score at 3-3. Munson drove in Paul Blair from second, who had singled and advanced on a Roy White sacrifice. That left it all up to Lou Piniella. In the bottom of the 10th, with 2 out and 2 on, Piniella blasted a line drive single to center that scored Roy White from second and tied the World Series at 2-all. Hard-throwing right-hander Rich Gossage retired 6 batters in a row in the 2 innings he worked and picked up the win.
It was a game they'll be talking about for a long time, and now here is George Grande with the story of just what went on. George?
John, the story of this one very simple. 78 Series continued its hero-a-day pace as Lou Piniella came up with a gamer. That paced the Yanks to another win 4-3, 10 innings at Yankee Stadium. Pinella's hit came off a rookie, Bob Welch, right here. Bingo. It ended a 4-hour emotion-packed game that was delayed for some 45 minutes by rain. As you can see, Roy White will score the winner. He had walked, gone to second on Reggie Jackson's single. White scores. They turn the stadium upside down. Yanks 4, Dodgers 3, 10 innings in an emotion-packed game. Series now tied 2 games apiece, and Game 5 is set for the stadium, of course, tomorrow afternoon. Well, we've had our share of what you would have to call interesting plays during this series, but what may be the topper of them all proved to be a key in today's Yankee win. Ron Swoboda talked to the principals and a look at what turned out to be a very important play.
I threw the ball, but I threw it away from Jackson. But he saw the ball come with us. You know, he's smart. You got to give him credit. He made a good play. He moved into the ball, but, you know, he moved into it where he didn't make it too obvious. Yeah. I mean, for the umpire standpoint, it wasn't really obvious. But to everybody else that was playing out there, it was obvious that he stuck his leg out or his side out, made a motion where, a bending motion where the ball would hit him and ricochet off. You got to give him credit. He made a smart play, heads-up play. He got away with it.
I just got hit with the ball, Ronnie. You know, I was in the baseline. I was not out of the baseline. I was right in the way. Yeah. And everything was happening real fast, and I'm a slow thinker.
Now, that one's going to be debated for a long time. Of course, even if Reggie did it, I don't think he would have admitted the fact that he actually stepped in front of that ball. Either way, it was a very important play. That proved to be one of the pivotal ones. The Yankees win it in 10 innings by a final of 4-3. I'll have the full story of the Yankee win as well as all the other hockey, football, and racing news a little bit later on.
The New York Yankees, who came from 14 games behind during the regular season, have now made up a 2-game deficit in the 1978 World Series. They won their second straight today. They beat the Dodgers 4-3, and they won with a comeback and with a controversy, 2 trademarks of their style. Neither team scored in the first 4 innings. Greg Nettles picked up defensively right here, just where he'd left off the night before. And both starting pitchers, Tommy John and Ed Figueroa, pitched well. But then Figueroa surrendered this 3-run home run to Reggie Smith in the 5th inning. And not until the 6th inning, when Reggie Jackson's single to right drove home Roy White and sent Thurman Munson to second, did the Yankees start reducing the Dodgers' lead. Then came a critical play. Lou Pinella's line drive, dropped by Bill Russell, who stepped on second, forcing Jackson, then trying for a double play, hit Jackson with his throw. The ball bounced away, Munson scored, and the Dodgers' lead was down to 3-2. Tom Lasorda argued that Jackson deliberately interfered. He lost the argument, and then the Dodgers lost their lead on Munson's 8th inning double. Only another strong relief job by rookie Bob Welch enabled the Dodgers to take the Yankees into extra innings. Then, here in the 10th, facing Lou Piniella with 2 men on and 2 out, Welch made a mistake. He threw a fastball up high, and Piniella drove the ball into center field, a single that sent Roy White sprinting home with the winning run. Rich Gossage was the winner in relief, and Lou Piniella, the club's most consistent hitter all season, reveled in his rare role as a hero.
I wasn't going any particular way. I just go up there and swing, and I swung in a lot of bad pitches off of Welch today, and fortunately the one I hit was a bad pitch, but I tomahawked it, got on top of it, and lined it.
The Dodgers went to bed tonight convinced Jackson deliberately interfered with Russell's throw and should have been declared out. Jackson protested his innocence. "I just froze," he said.
And what a game it was. Sal Marchiano is with us now with all the exciting details. Sal.
Yes, big guy. It's autumn in New York. The Yanks are playing in the World Series. Sinatra at Radio City. What else do you want? It's a doubleheader. The Yankees and the Dodgers are tied at 2 apiece because the Yanks refused to be swept after losing 2 in L.A. Lou Piniella was today's hero. Give credit to Dick Tidrow, who was enormous in relief, and give a special star to Reggie Jackson, who give his version of the gangster lean. It added up to a 4-3 victory in 10 innings. The best-of-7 affair locked at 2 apiece. It's now a best-of-3 series. Ed Figueroa failed again to win a postseason game. He gave up a 3-run homer to Reggie Smith. In the 5th, the Dodgers led 3-0. Before that hit, Smith had only 3 hits and 14 at-bats and only 1 RBI, but he got 3 in a bunch. In the L.A. 6th, 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Reggie Jackson single to right. Mr. October coming through again. He scored White from second. L.A.'s lead cut to 3-1. Lou Piniella, the next batter, with 1st and 2nd line to shortstop. Bill Russell dropped it intentionally, tagged second for the force on Jackson, but the throw went wild. Why? Because it bounced off Reggie. And Thurman Munson scored to cut L.A.'s lead to 3-2. We'll show it to you again in slow motion. Jackson in the base path, leaned to his right. Right there with the hip, deflected the ball. Now, this cost L.A. a run, and the Yankees got away with it. First base umpire Frank Pulley, who, by the way, is a National League umpire, said he didn't have a good angle. He couldn't see if Reggie was indeed leaning into the ball. Of course, Tom Lasorda, the Dodger manager, had a difference of opinion. Yanks 8th, 1 out. Blair at second. Foster replaced John. Munson doubled inside the third base bag. Blair scored for a 3-3 tie. Thurman playing hurting. Yanks 10th, Cinderella time for Lou Piniella. Rookie Bob Welch, who snuffed out a Yankee rally in Game 2, had 2 out, 1st and 2nd. Welch throws a high pitch to Sweet Lou. Bang, right center field. Base hit, Roy White scored. Isn't it interesting how Roy White continues to lead off all the rallies? Yanks win 4-3. Tidrow and Gossage pitched shutout ball for 5 innings.
Let's go to John Dockery in the Dodger dressing room.
Steve, when you came to New York, you were 2-0. The team seemed confident. You had the rhythm. What happened?
Well, we're coming into the home stretch now, and the horse caught us and passed us a little bit. We're just going to have to put on a good stretch run, I think. It's a situation they played exceptionally well here. They were very comfortable. They just came out and were aggressive and beat us 3 straight.
Are they that much tougher in New York?
Sure seems that way. They must be. I don't know what their home record was this year, but they play very well here.
How does a team regroup after a tough night like tonight? I mean, a total disaster from your point of view.
Well, you hope for an off day, which we do have tomorrow, and then try to just relax and maybe we'll have a little meeting, talk about it. Let's do this, let's do that. And Tuesday night we'll be playing at home, and that's quite an incentive for us.
What about the difference in infields? I mean, you seem to have a little bit of a tough time. Some of the infielders out here tonight. Is there a difference in the infields?
Oh, yeah, ours is a crushed brick. It's a very hard infield, very flat infield. This infield is more of a dirt type. It slopes off from the middle of the base pass back, but there are no excuses. A lot of other teams feel well here.
Do you see a turning point? Was it Nettles making those plays? Was it the questionable interference with Jackson yesterday?
Well, I think it may have been yesterday's play, yeah, with Jackson, because eventually that turned out to be a situation where without the run on that play, we would have won 3-2 through 9 innings. So that may have been a turning point.
You're a class gentleman after a loss. Thank you. John.
And now the World Series goes back to Disneyland, hard by the freeways. And you know why it's going back? Well, you can name all the heroes you want, all the situations you want, and all the controversy you want. But it's going back because of Friday night. Ron Guidry and his reputation, and not necessarily in that order, is sending the World Series back to Los Angeles. The truth of the matter is that the Dodgers admit themselves they psyched themselves out. They read the scouting reports, they heard from each other, and they read the newspapers, and they believed. But the Ron Guidry they saw Friday night, you know and I know, is not the Ron Guidry that's been doing it all year. He pitched on guts, and he pitched on Greg Nettles. But the Dodgers try to tailor their game to him. They try to change. Lacey, the designated hitter, admits himself that he was psyched out. In fact, he says we were all psyched out. You really should go with what got you here when we try to compensate against him. Well, that's a big factor, because the truth is there's no reason for this thing to go back, or there would have been no reason had it worked out that way on Friday night for the Dodgers.
A 12-2 rout by the Yankees, who have suddenly skyrocketed to a lead of 3-2, with Game 6 tomorrow night in Los Angeles. Game 7, if necessary, would be Wednesday on the coast. Yesterday, 3 Dodger pitchers gave up 18 hits, 16 of them singles, 3 Dodger errors, 1 wild pitch, 2 passed balls, contributing to the disaster. But as has been their pattern all year long, the Yankees bouncing back from a 2-0 deficit. In the top of the first, Reggie Smith singles to right. Davey Lopes, the captain, scored. Davey with some choice words about the fans here. He said, quote, they should drop a bomb on this place, meaning Yankee Stadium. Then in the third, Bill Russell, who said, quote, you've got to be half crazy to live in this town, doubled to left. Lopes scored all the way from first, but the Yanks began their barrage in the bottom of the third. They scored 4 runs. A base hit by Roy White. Mr. Clutch sends Bucky Dent to the plate off starter and loser Bert Hooton. Happy Bert. Then what turned out to be the winning hit, Thurman Munson, who had 3 hits and 5 RBIs, loops it to right, allowing Mickey Rivers to score, and then White makes it home after a wild throw by Reggie Smith. 3-2 Yanks, a lead they never relinquished. Then Lou Piniella, who was the hero in Game 4, produced yet another single, scoring Thurman Munson with the 4th run. In the 4th, Dent hit a sharp drive to Russell. Could have been a double play, but Russell had his problems, paving the way for a 3-run rally. Then on White's ground ball to first, right here, Steve Garvey makes a nice stab, but his throw to the plate is another story, and the scoring parade continued. And 6'6" rookie Jim Beattie, again looking impressive. He struck out the dangerous Steve Garvey 3 times and pitched his first complete game ever in the major league, scattering 9 hits and striking out 8 all told. That's the final play. Tomorrow night, it should be a pair of righties, Catfish Hunter against Don Sutton.
Marv, it's nice to have you back with us. You're going to be around, what, 3-4 minutes here this afternoon, right?
And 11 o'clock tonight.
I was teasing, but we did mention yesterday, Larry was here, and I mentioned on the air that you, in fact, told me back last week that you like the Los Angeles Dodgers in the series.
In 6.
Yankees are going to win it all tonight.
You brought that out.
You'll be wrong again.
Yeah, that was mentioned actually in passing. It is what I consider a closet selection. Nothing public about it.
I see.
But yes, it is true. I did select the Dodgers off camera in 6. And tonight, game number 6. Thanks for bringing that up, Jack. Sure. You'll see it right here on NBC starting at 8 o'clock with the pregame show. It'll be Catfish Hunter for the Yankees, Don Sutton for the Dodgers. Sutton, the loser last Friday night in game 3, with Sutton hurt by the bat of Thurman Munson. This is the game that saw the brilliant fielding of Greg Nettles save the night for Ron Guidry, and it was a 5-1 Yankee victory. Now, Sutton will be opposed tonight by this man, Catfish Hunter. He was beaten by the hitting of Ron Cey in game 2 out in L.A., with Cey driving home 3 of the 4 Dodger runs in that 4-3 win that was capped off by the Bob Welch strikeout of Reggie Jackson. Meanwhile, out in L.A. these past couple of days, the newspapers have really turned on their beloved Dodgers for blowing the 2-0 lead in the series and for the inept display of defensive play, in particular this past Sunday in game 5, with shortstop Bill Russell, the man, having big problems. This one of his 3 errors during the course of the series. There have been several other bad plays. Even Yankee manager Bob Lemon has empathy for Russell.
There were some tough chances, short hops and that. It can happen anytime, you know. You know, in your heart you feel sorry for anybody that has a bad day. I always hated when they talked about goats in a World Series, you know, something that lives with them the rest of their life. And I feel for the person when those things happen.
Yet somehow Bob Lemon isn't that convincing about his sympathy for the problems of Bill Russell. Game number 6 tonight right here.
This is WNBC TV, New York. News Center 4 is brought to you tonight by American Airlines and by Barney's America House and International House.
Good evening, I'm Chuck Scarborough. This is a late edition of News Center 4, and the top story this evening is an incredible story. The Yankees made history tonight in the 75th World Series. They lost 2 games in the beginning, just as I predicted they would, Marv, and won the next 4 as I predicted.
Yes, I must say I did have
a remarkable performance.
In 6 it was. A remarkable come-from-behind effort by a club that has been coming from behind right throughout the season, ending with a come-from-behind effort in the World Series, beating the Dodgers, as you saw here on NBC, by the score of 7-2 to take it in 6. Rich Gossage wrapping it right here for Catfish Hunter, who gave the Yanks a solid effort. Gossage getting Cey on the pop to end it. A big night for the middle of that Yankee infield for Bucky Dent, who was voted the series MVP, and a big night for unlikely hero Brian Doyle, who had an incredible series at the plate. Reggie Jackson striking back at Bob Welch by hitting one out in the 7th inning. The Yankees, the first team ever in World Series history to lose the first 2 and then come back and win 4 in a row, capping off this extraordinary comeback year. Yanks with their 22nd World Championship, 2nd in a row over the Dodgers. Yes, it will be a very pleasant plane ride back to New York City for the champion New York Yankees. They do it in 6. We'll have all the highlights and the complete sports picture in about 10 minutes. Chuck?
Okay, Marv, thank you.
Afraid of it all. Look at the eyes. Fear is plainly written on Jay Golden's face as the crowd squeezes closer. He doesn't budge, but repeatedly urges Koch to call more cops. A little frightening even for a politician.
Well, you know, when people's personal safety is in jeopardy, that's real trouble. That's right.
Have you talked to Mr. Steinbrenner about renegotiating the lease?
Oh, well, I told Mr. Steinbrenner that we're delighted about the additional revenue the Yankees have brought to the city. This was a tremendous series, and it swelled our coffers, and we need it, and we're delighted.
Delighted he really wasn't as the people closed in. Still, he seemed relieved when more police officers did move to the front of City Hall as the ceremonies inched on.
Don't push it anymore. They got more cops. They got more coming. They just brought more in.
I want to share some things with you if you just keep it quiet, please. Everybody wants to hear. People in the trees across the world, everybody wants to hear. Thank you very much.
The affair was finally cut short. Golden and the others could retreat the steps with the Yankees into the secure sanctuary of City Hall. Leaving the trophy room out the back way as the crowd pushed to the front door. We're literally at the front door of City Hall right now, where a fist fight has broken out over here between a couple of fans. This can't go any further. There's a virtual wall over there.
All right.
Just another day at City Hall. Roger Schaap, Channel 7.
All right.
Eyewitnesses.
He made it back in one piece, too. A party is still going on right now on behalf of the Yankees. In fact, this party is dedicated to the Yankees owner, George Steinbrenner, the man who brought the team the 2 championship victories with his trading on the open market. We don't know if he's there right now, but a lot of other people are at Studio 54, and as you can see, the lights and the sounds and the people are buzzing tonight.